Hi, I'm David McElroy. I'm reading for Henry Ford from Ragtime and Mr. Webb from Our Town. I don't want nobody hurt for me or made to do the dirt for me. This rotten life is not for me. It's getting far too hot for me. Don't want no one to rob for me. But who will find a job for me? There is no in-between for me. But who will change the scene for me? I think I'd better think it out again. Yes!
Whenever you're ready.
Well, George, how are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Webb. What common sense could there be in a superstition like that?
Well, George, on the wedding morning, a girl's head is full of, clothes and one thing or another. Don't you think that's probably it?
I never thought of that.
Girls have to be very nervous on a wedding day.
Gee, I wish a person could get married with all that marching up and down.
Every man that's ever lived has felt that way, George, but it hasn't been of any use. It's the women folk who built up weddings, my boy. For a while now, the women have it all their own. A man is pretty small at a wedding, George. All the good women standing shoulder to shoulder, making sure that knot's tied in a mighty public way.
Well, you believe in it, don't you, Mr. Webb?
Yes. Oh, yes. Now, don't misunderstand me, George. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Don't you forget that, George.
No, sir, Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb, how old were you when you got married?
Oh, well, you see, I'd been to college and taken a little time to get settled, but Mrs. Webb wasn't much older than Emily is. Oh, age doesn't have a lot to do with it, George, compared with other things.
What were you going to say, Mr. Webb?
I don't know. Was I going to say something? George, I remember the other night some advice my father gave me when I got married. Yes, he said, George, well, actually, you're George, I'm Charles. He said, Charles, start right off showing who's boss. Best thing to do is give an order about something, even if it don't make sense, just so she'll obey, he said. Then he said, if anything about her irritates you, the conversation or anything, get right up and walk out of the house. Make it clear to her. Oh, yes, and he said, never let your wife know how much money you have. Never.
Well, I couldn't exactly...
So I took the opposite advice, and I've been happy ever since. So let that be a lesson to you. Never ask advice of anybody on personal matters.